The Ultimasaurus, a creature whose clandestine origins, bizarre and mysterious nature has captured the of millions. Today, Goji Center's analysis platform will the Ultimasaurus to life. The first question to answer is where in the Jurassic timeline would we have this creature? But at least some of the animals would have been in the Lockwood Manor prior to the events of Jurassic Park. All evidence so far leads us to believe that the Ultimasaurus would have been early on in the Jurassic timeline. We can suspect that the significant amount of DNA composition in this hybrid was also the culprit behind its shrunken. The dinosaurs that contributed to this hybrid were actually built to be masters of and anatomically built to those weapons. Ultimasaurus imperatrix earns her name by being fine-tuned with the right balance of defense and weaponry. Its long and being armed and armored means that this animal will now carry a huge risk of counterattack. The idea is to build a more lethal hybrid that will all significant life forms in this island, both big and small. And yes, this includes humans. If the objective is to try to population on an animal bigger than the Indom wouldn't really cut it. This doesn't mean that we're going to shrink the Remember, we do need to these guys, sauropods too. One skill exclusive to apes is the ability to hold things, them, and even tools. Now, admittedly, it's a bit bizarre to see an Indominus tools, but if the objective is for the Indominus to effectively all life forms, she will have to be capable of reaching tiny humans hiding inside crevices with her own arms or with whatever else she can find. In the real world, chimps have been observed to cramped spaces, impaling the small animals inside. Mixed with the ape-like forelimbs, these will literally shred through the skin of the thickest of some animals, as if you stuck a sharp hook in your mom's. Now, with our croc here making itself present in this genetic composition, we now have full body armor to work with.
Just non-stop combinations of monsters. And man, do I love them all near and dear. They're all cooked up in my radioactive and drawn beautifully by an artist. And right as I step my foot into the Jurassic scene, Goji Center pulls the rug under my feet and flattens my with their own marvelous creation, the Indom 2.0. This beast shreds through my We'll be altering his DNA, making his much more potent and deadly. If you bite or slash at it, you will one way or another get within you. And well, here's what we did. Now, within seconds, the enemy's congeals, making it so that the Indom 2.0 hits us, its own solidifies in its body.
Here on Goji Center HQ, the team was minding our own business, up some upcoming of sporting a body covered in jaws of the dreaded Dunkleosteus, skin and eyes of a chameleon, the power of a pistol shrimp, and the of a tardigrade. A hybrid battle that we never asked for but got dragged into. So a Therizinosaurus, Spino, and pistol shrimp might be used to with their arms, but even more animals on the list didn't. Instead of chomping down, the was built more for having its mouth open quickly to suck. Trying to put T-Rex force behind a jaw can result in the poor thing its own face. Now Hank has to worry about moving the weight of it much faster. And add in that is nearly 1,000 times denser than air, Hank had some pretty tough animals in the genome, like the Giga, Indom, and Spino. But none of them are particularly armored nor really resistant to stabs, much less getting a sharpened metal shoved into them. For now, though, Indom 2.0 has other problems to worry about. Much bigger problems. Except instead of making more of these, we'll go ahead and make a few augmentations. Take this prototype and turn it into a creature capable of humans in the worst ways imaginable. Wolves are far more dangerous than most dogs, and yet we don't wolves in canine units. Okay, yes, it might sound weird to a herbivorous dinosaur, but here comes a special boost to this animal's. We've already talked about how marvelous the of an ape is from an engineering standpoint in a previous episode. Bonobo DNA will be extracted and placed specifically on the This raptor can now grab someone by the neck and stab its claws through the throat, or the life out of them for a more stealthy kill. The most important aspect of any working animal is its. You might be able to a wolf, but it will never be as trainable or pass those traits on like a dog can. Animal lizards might look very unassuming, but they are some of the most highly successful lizards in the world. Imagine seeing that face looking up at you from the water, down a dark hallway, or up a tree. Probably with some unlucky bastard's in its mouth. Might the would-be empress find her railed the moment she hatched from an egg? Genetic components. Tyrannosaurus rex providing the endocranium, mandible, and Triceratops prorsus providing cranium, upper back, shoulders, extra jaw musculature, and beak. Borealtopelta provides dorsal armor, osteoderms, lateral spines. Stegosaurus, osteoderm, subdermal armor on neck, pelvis. Ingentia prima, limbs, mobility, and Alamosaurus, sacs, size, extra osteoderms, hind limbs, and pelvis. Most herbivorous dinosaurs start small upon hatching. Had the Apparatryx started out this small in the most dangerous environment on the planet, its fate might have been before it even hatched. This is where T-Rex in the mix might cinch for it. Little known fact about dinosaurs is that theropods have some of the largest in the fossil record. Not only the biggest belongs to a theropod, but Tyrannosaur eggs are nearly double the size of herbivorous dinosaurs, similar in size to T-Rex as adults. So, to talk about the part we've all been waiting for, let's discuss her. The head and neck alone of the Ultima would likely weigh nearly 2.6 tons, sporting a robust shoulder blade and the same dense musculature early sauropods have for both walking and fighting with the arms. Each of the Ultima's forelimbs weigh over 3.5 tons. Factoring in a reasonable swing speed, and a sack from the Ultima would be like getting clobbered by the biggest bear in history times 20. Any unlucky victim that gets in range would be grabbed, shoved to the ground, gouged, and crushed. Called a nodosaur, these were cousins of the Ankylosaurus that sported drastically thicker, upwards of 6 inches thick in this comparatively tiny dinosaur. Just like grizzlies, the hybrid might also leverage its huge and imposing stature to intimidate other predators from their kills.
The deadliest carnivore ever up in a lab. It tore through Goji Gai's and now many more have stood up to challenge Goji Senter's hell beast. What remained of humanity was broken, reduced to a of its former glory. What we're left with is Rex, the primate king, part man, part monster, a hyper-intelligent creature with the body of a heightened predator in every measurable way. His human mind has become overwhelmed with urges and primal impulses that erode his original goals, replacing it with an insatiable urge to He begins to lose his humanity, unable to distinguish where his mind ends and the begins. It still has the ability to speak in its native tongue, mocking you with cruel taunts about the that awaits you.
Make sure you subscribe to our channel. Thank you so much for watching, and like always, we're excited to see you again in our next video.